I'm never quick with Ben.
It's a standing.
It's a standing.
Sit on the floor.
I'm not sitting on the floor. And I'm going to carry on from where we carried on from. Natasha Jonas handing over. That's like the general consensus,
No. This is the two best welterweights in the world fighting on Friday night. It's the Ring Magazine and one world champion against another person with 2 world titles. The biggest all-British female fight. It's the best fight to make. And it wasn't easy to make. But we've got it. And that's what it is. And the reaction to it's been phenomenal. We're going to have 2,500 from Liverpool, 2,500 from Cardiff, in a cauldron like the Royal Albert Hall.
Cauldron, I like that.
It's going to be... honestly, out of all the events, and people will say nonsense, we've got 3 big British shows coming up. We've got Jonas Price, we've got Whittaker Cameron, and we've got Eubank Ben. I'm most proud of this event by a country mile. You know, we've invested so much in women's boxing. We believe in the sport, and we believe in a lot of these fighters who have been with us since debut, and we've achieved amazing things with pretty much everyone on the card. And so for them to all take career-defining fights on the same night is really exciting. I'm buzzing for it. Sky Sports main event, Sky Sports Showcase, BBC. Here we go.
What I will say is Natasha Jonas is lucky to have Joe Gallagher in a corner, literally in a corner, not just ringside, but in stuff like this, because he's very passionate about the sport. He's extremely caring towards Tasha, and Tasha was telling me he had a script literally written out for everything that he wanted to say. Having, somebody that's almost as passionate as the fighter, but at the top table, ready to tear somebody a new arsehole, excuse my French, if they try and go at his fighter. How important is that?
Look, you have to... That relationship between a trainer and fighter is either what's going to sometimes ruin your career or make your career. The trust between them is just... You have to have that trust. At the end of the day, they're the ones setting out your game plan. They're the ones setting out your preparation. They're the one you're going into the corner. So if you don't trust that person, and I say to any fighter, if you have got 1% of doubt about your trainer, that's not the right trainer. 1%. You cannot go into a ring and not believe in what the guy is telling you. And it happens too much, and fighters take too long to change.
Yeah,
I've seen it so many times, and I hate it because you invest so much in a fighter, and you can't get in the ring with them. You can't train them. You need a fighter that they trust and that you trust, a trainer. And if you don't have it, it's very difficult. And Joe's amazing. Look, I knew Joe before anyone in boxing. I'm from the same area in Manchester. I knew him before I started. I had a fighter called Sam Hyde, who I was in Champs Camp before Joe was, with Ensley Bingham. Ensley Bingham was running Champs Camp at the time. That was the first gym I ever went into in Manchester. He's now there. But Joe, I met very early on with Sam Hyde, and he fought Richard Riakpo a long time
ago.
I
remember. I watched it.
His eye blew up, and he could have won that fight. And he went to train with Joe, and I met Joe through that. And I always thinking, Joe Gallagher, Smith Brothers, Crawler, Quigg, unbelievable. And I'll always remember, Joe gives me a lot of shit and will come at me for anything, and I respect that. But I'll always remember how he was with me when I had nothing, and the advice that he'd give and the time that he would spend with me. Nothing has changed between me and Joe at all in terms of that. He doesn't hold me on a higher pedestal now at all, even maybe less. Yeah. But then he didn't look down on me. He didn't say anything. He was this little kid running around. And I learned a lot from him in those early days. And at the end of the day, he was the one that brought me Natasha Jonas. He was one of my first ever signings, and we've gone on to 7 world titles, and she hadn't won one before. It's been amazing. And yeah, Joe is a phenomenal guy, someone I'm in awe of, the way he's handling everything, and the way he's still being himself, and that's what it is. He's from Manchester, and he's a real person, and there's not a lot of real people in boxing, and it doesn't matter what he says about me, he's a real guy.
He is. I will definitely second that. He's not only, just getting on with it, he's also training. He's added an addition, which is Zalfa Barrett. He's took Zalfa Barrett on as well.
Yeah,
as another fighter. And I'm like, How much is he going to take on? He's got no stop button.
Well, he's just not changed 1%, and that's amazing. Like,
Of course
he's
it
getting
is.
up there, and he's doing exactly what he would have done at any point, and he's not changed 1%. He doesn't even want to talk about it. He's not even a whisper about it.
Of course.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I spoke to him on the phone. I said, "Fuck me, like, you know,
Yeah.
we all complain, and we all get caught up in what's going on in life. And at the end of the day, we're here today, gone tomorrow. Do what you believe in. Don't get too caught up in shit." And he's a lesson to us all. And he's already achieved a phenomenal amount and left an amazing legacy. And there's so many big things to come. And it's great seeing him in Champs Camp now, because for anyone in Manchester, it's a historic gym. It's the best gym in Manchester, and it now has the best trainer in Manchester as well. So it's a great place.
Lauren Price, under the tutelage of Rob McCracken, a very calm person, very strict, succinct, has trained her phenomenally well. As we know who he is, we know who he's trained. He's got Gallagher fight, other fighters as well. Very respectful and cordial between them. And I can only go off what Tasha said. It's sort of like she gets it. She understands why Lauren's like, I'm coming to take your spot. She said she done it when she was in the amateurs, and that's why she's been kind of quiet on it, because she gets the hunger that Lauren's got. But Lauren hasn't been in there with the fighters that she has, and Tasha's adamant that it's experience is what's going to win her the fight.
100%. And people talk about Natasha Jonas taking an unnecessary risk, Lauren Price equally. It's a massive step up from where she's been at. It is. But I love the battle of the two trainers as well, with Rob and Joe. It's got everything. Rob is a phenomenal trainer, and so you've got both of them who be thinking about who's going to outsmart this, who's going to... They might not see it, but there's as much of competitive tension between those two as there is between Lauren and Tasha. This is about my girl beating yours, and yeah, it's a great fight, and they're going to have a game plan. Both of them are going to have a game plan. They're both second guessing what the other's going to do. Let's see who comes out on top, but it's going to be fascinating.
Another fight that I'm looking forward to, and I can rush over the fights, but Yasmina and Chloe, respect to you for putting those girls on the fight. I know that Chloe's a free agent now. She's got that, amateur pedigree. She was with Wasserman, free agent, fighting on your card, going up against Yasmina. Tough fight, that.
Tough fight for both of them. Winner stays on.
Oh, is that the...
Yeah, like, it has to be at this, at this point, we have a lot of fighters, female fighters.
You do.
But this was a fight that, Paul Reddy was pushing me on, Kevin Marie was pushing me on, know them both well. I'm just delighted to get on because they're both hungry. Jasmine's coming off the back of a massive win. Chloe I've known for a long time. I had her on a show maybe 2 years ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I stand corrected then. I thought it was just this one.
A long time ago.
Okay.
And she's a great girl. And she's a character as well. From Liverpool again, another fighter.
Trained by Ricky Hatton.
Ricky as well. So great story. Jasmina up in Sheffield, I think, Barnsley. Yeah, with
Callum.
With Callum. So Callum will be. I think Callum's in the corner on Friday. Another fascinating fight, fascinating contest. As you said, that one could steal the show. It's on early. But there's a lot of great fights. Cindy and Gamba taking on Kirsty Babington in a debut is unheard of. It's ridiculous. She's got a huge amount of media attention around her story and what's going on, so there'll be a lot of people interested in that. Carrish jumping in after 12 months into a very tough fight.
Yeah.
It must win for both of them. A great fight to leapfrog into world level. And then Caroline Dubois, who, I think everyone thinks she's my favourite, and she is just strength to strength, and for me will be the face of women's boxing. I truly believe that she is so special, and we've not seen anything yet. And I just always think back to the 20-year-old girl that didn't want to speak, and you had to almost coach out of her.
Yeah,
and she was so nervous. She was so nervous on her debut. It was in Cardiff. It was Eubank Williams.
Yeah.
The arena was shaking that night.
Yep.
It was loud. It was a Welsh fan. It was scary for her. The way I feel like this is how, like, when a dad, and I hear it. And then now I feel uncool. It's like I can't even. When I first met her, it was like, right, let's help in every way possible. Let's make her feel confident. Now she's outgrown me. She's
Bless
better
her.
at talking than me.
She's gone
She
off to
looks the bar.
university. Yeah, she's gone.
She's gone.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I'm
yeah.
just enjoying what she's going to go on and achieve. You know, the job's done. She knows what she's going to do. She's a fantastic athlete, and yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to watch her. One of my just proudest things. Seeing her grow. People don't know what she's been through, how strong she is.
How strong she
People
is.
she looks after, and she deserves everything that's going to come to her.
And it was really nice as well, seeing her mum and her sister here to support her. Obviously, I know that they walk around as a family, but it was a pleasure to meet her mum as well, somebody that I didn't usually see at the fight, so that was really nice to see.
Yeah.
Boxer started off well this year, I will say, for the British fights. You know me, obviously I'm UK all day long, and you've started off giving us some good fights.
Yeah.
But I've got to go back to Buatsi Smith, because I haven't spoke to you since then.
Yeah.
How is Josh? And a reflection as his promoter on that fight.
He's good. I saw him on Sunday.
Nice.
And we sat down and we talked it through, and I said what I thought. He said what he thought. He's disappointed, of course.
Obviously.
I said to him that, you know, Callum's been in those elite level fights, and you learn a lot about yourself win or lose in those elite level fights. It was your first one at that real elite level, and he's learned a lot about himself. He's learned a lot. He knows he's a tough bastard now, like really tough. But he looks at his preparation, looks at his game plan, and there'll be things that he learns from. What's great is that he's given one of the best fights that we've seen.
Yeah.
Fans will want to see him
I
back.
was out of my seat.
Yeah, and you know, that's sport. Sometimes you come up short. So let's see him react. Hopefully, finally, we might actually see the Anthony Yarde fight, which has been the bane of my life for the past 18 months, and we never saw it. So let's see what happens this year. And there's big fights for him. And he'll go back to the drawing board, and he'll come back, but he won't want to slow down. He'll want to go straight back in the deep end.
I'm going to be controversial, and you know what I'm like. I always keep my ear to the ground because I'm a fan first, Ben. Are you happy with his trainer? Now, I know that's personal, but listen, I'm listening to the fans, and the fans are, we know what he was like before, and you can shoot me in the comments, that's fine. But it's like, is he okay? Has he regressed? Or, you know, can he get better? Now, I just want your honest opinion on it. It's not my opinion as such, but
look,
I know what he was like before.
It's very hard for promoters to meddle in that situation.
Okay.
You know,
I get it.
Josh trusts Virgil, and that's what I said about trust. He trusts Virgil. He trusts the advice he's being given. He trusts everything. That loss is on him, not on his team. And I look, Virgil Hunter, who can argue with what he's achieved in the sport? It's been incredible. So he's in it. I believe he feels he's in the right place for his career, and that's
Okay.
what matters. Look, he'll look at his performance and his game plan and will be disappointed about certain things. He's got to correct that. He's got to find a way to now kick on and go to the next level. But I believe he will do that. There's work to do, but he's a phenomenally gifted fighter. And let's be honest, he came up against a very good Callum Smith.
I'm a massive fan of Joshua Buatsi, as you know, but I did say to Joshua Buatsi when we spoke at the presser, I can't call this fight between you two because I knew it was going to be. Look, like he said, Callum Smith, even though he was a weight below, he's a world champion.
Yeah.
It's a good fight. I weren't writing him off because he lost to Artur Beterbiev, for God's sake.
He was injured as well. He was injured that fight, and he waited like a year and a half for it. But I still believe Buatsi can beat Callum Smith on his day, but it wasn't his day.
It wasn't his day.
And he's got and that's it. And you brush yourself off, and maybe it will give him a new lease of life. Maybe he'll be less cautious. Maybe he'll, we see it all the time. One loss does not define you.
Definitely
look
not.
What happened with Daniel Dubois, and look where he is now.
Yeah.
And that's what he's got to take from it.
100%. That's a fighter that I'd never write off in any circumstances. You mentioned a potential fight with him and Anthony Yarde. Like you said, it's been the bane of your life for 18 months. But Anthony Yarde obviously did his one fight with you guys and has gone back to Queensbury.
Listen, I don't know if that's the case.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. We wanted to make Buatsi Yarde.
Oh,
That was
right,
all we
okay.
were
Yeah,
interested in.
okay, yeah.
And
So why did that not
unfortunately,
happen?
why did it not happen?
Just the honest
Initially,
answer.
look, we accepted a fight to go and fight on Queensberry in the first instance.
Yes, I know that was true.
So we were going to go and fight on TNT. It fell through between them. Then it was ordered. I thought, here we go.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, I remember posting it.
this is now I don't need
GTA
to do
music.
anything. Like
Yeah.
the job's done.
Yep.
Then we know what happened. So Anthony pulled out. Then it got ordered against Willie Hutchinson.
Yeah. Riyadh.
Riyadh. Then the big offer came in to Josh for the Callum Smith fight, and it just never happened. And yeah, it was frustrating in many ways because I felt like it was the right fight. But we are where we are. Some things just aren't meant to be and don't happen.
All right, then a final one from myself. What have you learnt the most so far, Ben, in boxing? What is the thing that stands out to you the most that you've learnt so far in your years as a promoter? And I'm not talking about regrets. There's no regrets. It's the biggest lesson.
Protect yourself at all times. Number one.
Yeah?
And don't go after everything that's shiny. Because it
magpie
doesn't
effect.
always shine. And there's probably a reason why it's available. Just, and I mean that in the...
No, I like it.
I think the best success is things that happen naturally. In
Organic,
life,
yeah.
That's the same in life, that's
Yeah.
the same in business. Let things happen naturally. And the things that we've let happen naturally have been really, really
The ones
successful
that have
for
blossomed.
us.
Yeah. All right. And on that note, Shalom.
Respect.
I shall see you later.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.